Hey guys, I'm Pixel Dan, and this is a review of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Quarter Scale Raphael figure from NECA Toys. That's right, the amazing quarter scale TMNT line from NECA continues on with my personal favorite turtle as he appeared in the awesome 1990 TMNT movie featuring the sweet puppetry of Jim Henson. One of my favorite versions of the Turtles. I absolutely love that film still to this day, and it is so great that NECA is giving us proper versions of these amazing costumes from that live action movie. So as you can see, just like we saw with the Donatello figure that I already reviewed, he comes in that large scale window box packaging. Very cool box, has that great image on the bottom of the four turtles poking out of the manhole cover that we all remember seeing on the movie posters and everything for that original movie. And when you flip that around to the backside, we've got some amazing images of the quarter scale figure that looks like still shots from the movie. That's how good the photography and this particular figure is. Underneath that, we got a great image of the four turtles from the film, and I got to point this out again. I love that NECA's logo looks like the old FHE home video release logo. I think that's just such a cool thing. I love it when NECA does fun stuff like that with their logo on their boxes. So, this right here is our bad boy, our cool but crude Raphael figure outside of the box, and since he is quarter scale, as you can see, he is massive. This guy measures up to almost a full 18 inches tall. He is heavy, very hefty, very solid, but an overall just amazing action figure. Now, I have already reviewed the quarter scale Donatello, which was the first release in this lineup, so I'm going to go and just bring him in here right now because I want to put these two side by side. If you haven't already watched my review of Donatello, what are you guys waiting for? What's wrong? Go watch that video. If you have already seen that, it's worth pointing out that I'm going to be saying a lot of the same things between the two because, of course, since they are the Ninja Turtles, they have very similar designs. There are some similarities in the overall design here. So as you can see, standing side by side, they look pretty great together, first of all, right? I mean, these guys look incredible next to each other. It's worth noting that the bodies themselves do appear to be shared between the two figures, which totally makes sense as far as the sculpt goes because the costumes were pretty much the same as far as the bodies go. But one thing that I think NECA did that's so great is the paint deco is different. It is. If you look at the two figures side by side and compare the little differences like the little spots on their skin tones and stuff like that, you'll notice that it's different between the two figures. So the paint deco is different on their skin tones. Also, look at the awesome details on the turtle shells. Raph's shell is a different sculpt from Donatello's. Raph, of course, being the tough turtle, the wise, the tough guy, the one that gets into all the fights and the brawls, he's got all these dings and scratches all over his shell that just aren't really present on Donatello's. So I love that. Just really cool. Great attention to detail on the part of NECA Toys. And of course, the head sculpt's completely different. I was always amazed at how the personalities were so beautifully captured in the heads, in the faces, on those costumes from the original movie. And you can really see that captured and brought to life in the sculpt here. So let's move Donnie out of the way, because I want you guys to really focus in on the sculpt of Raphael here. And look at that face sculpt. I mean, NECA did an amazing job, like I said, capturing the look of that outfit or that costume from the original movie. But look at the eyes. The eyes have this amazing realism to them. They've got this great glossy look, like there's some real life there. He's got that more stern look on his face, exactly as you would expect from Raphael. Look at the gritting teeth there from inside of his mouth. It's just a wonderful sculpt with a great paint job that really brings out those fantastic details. And another thing that I love that they're doing on these is the back part of the bandana is an actual cloth material. But it's done so well that it blends together perfectly with the plastic of the sculpt of the head there. And it's a good cloth, so it lays naturally there. It looks wonderful. But this gives you the option to kind of drape it over his shoulders, bring it over his back, whatever you think fits him the best. you can do, and it looks awesome. So all around, amazing sculpt there, and a lot of the same things I said with Donatello. The paint deco was wonderful on here, great textures on the skin tone. I love how realistic and natural the pads look on the elbows, the wraps on the wrist, even the belt there, which is actually made of a leather-like material that's going around his waist, is all wonderfully done and just really brings out how good the overall sculpt and the attention to detail is on these figures. Just amazing pieces. So as you can see, he's got a very solid stance. I mean, the figure is standing beautifully on this table here. He's not wobbling. He's not falling over. He's got a great balance to him. And the articulation is really nice on this guy for being a big, huge figure. He's done so solid, but the articulation is still very functional. Now, it's really tight in a lot of spots. So you can see he does have a great ball joint at the head there, so the head can kind of move around. He can look left and right. Pretty good at range of motion there. At the top of the neck is where the head turns. We do have the ball joints at the shoulders. The arms only come out about that far, moving up and down though, but you can still move them forwards and backwards for a great range of motion there. You can swivel the arms at the elbow. You can also bend at the elbow. You can see great range of motion there. There's actually really good joints hidden underneath the elbow pads there, which I think is so brilliant. So you can double joints there. So you can actually get a good range of motion, even though the pad's there. I love that. You can also swivel at the wrist there, which is very nice, so good range of motion there as well. The shell piece is sculpted over the body, so you can see I can kind of move that around a little bit, but this does allow for articulation at the waist, the midsection there, so that's kind of nice. You can actually move the body underneath the shell piece, which is one of those things that's pretty uncommon on a Ninja Turtles figure, because normally the big shell piece, all one solid sculpt, so that's kind of nice how they work in that articulation there. You'll notice that I already kind of moved the thighs there. The nice ball joints at the thighs are those ratchet joints. So you can really hear how they click in place, but there's a great range of motion there. But that clicking of the ratchet joints is what helps keep him so balanced like this, because he is heavy. He's a very heavy figure. You can also swivel there at the thighs. You do have joints at the knees. The knee pads are going to get in the way of that just a bit, but you can see still good joints there. You can also swivel at the knees. You can actually kind of see the joints underneath the knee pads there, which is pretty cool. And then the ankles also are very nice because you can swivel the feet left and right. You can actually move the feet up and down there, and you can even kind of rock the feet side to side, which is really great for getting kind of those wide stances and still keeping the feet on the ground. Just like that. Look at that. Bending the knees, getting the feet flat. It's pretty amazing. So you can actually pull off some pretty cool poses with this guy. And of course, to help you with that, he's got several interchangeable hands, which is really cool. Now, same with Donatello, and the hands do appear to be the same as what we saw before, but you can see we've got a whole assortment of different hands here that can easily be swapped off. Now, he's going to come out of the box with these gripping hands already on. I will point out that he does come with an extra set of gripping hands that, when I compare them, it's pretty hard to tell the difference between them. They almost look identical. Maybe the grip is a little bit tighter on one, but you know, the hands are a little flexible. So I don't know. Maybe I'm missing something here, but they almost appear to be very similar. But in addition to those gripping hands, we do have the more slightly open hands, just like this. You can see one for the left and the right. And then you've got a pointing finger for the left and an open palm for the right. So you can easily swap any of these hands out just by giving a nice firm tug on the hands. You'll have to pull really hard, kind of pop them out of socket. Also worth noting that the wrist wraps are going to come off at the same time, so you'll want to hold those in place. But then, it's very easy to just take another hand, give it a good press, got to give it a nice firm press, pops the new joint in place, and boom, just like that, you can swap those hands out. And that's really cool because that's going to allow you, you know, for holding onto his weapons, holding onto some of his other accessories, like his little slice of pizza. Little slice of pizza just like that, which is very cool. So, you know, the open hand there is perfect for placing that little slice of pizza in his hand, which is cool. And look at the sculpt on the pizza. Even the pizza looks amazing. Now, you might remember, if you did watch my Donnie review, Donnie also came with a slice of pizza. And you might be thinking, well, they just included the same pizza with Raph. But look at the sculpts between the slices of pizza are different. You can see that the toppings are laid out different on there. It's from the same pizza. The toppings are the same. It's still green peppers and black olives and sausage, but it's two different sculpts on the pizza slices, and I thought that was awesome. They didn't just include the same slice again. So really cool stuff. Alright, so last, but of course certainly not least with Raphael, he does come with his signature size. So I'm going to go ahead and put the gripping hands back on for Raph so I can show you that, and kind of move these hands all out of the way here. And that's going to bring us to the size. 2 size! You can lose one of them. He lost a size! It was a bad joke about the movie. Okay, so here you go. You got 2 size, beautifully detailed. Now, they are that plastic material all the way through, but they've got a really great design on there that makes it look like the handles are actually wrapped in leather. So the paint deco is nice, very cool. I would give a little bit of word of warning that the prongs seem a little fragile, so if you're placing them in his hands, probably don't hold by the little prongs or the blades. I would actually get a good solid grip on the handle like this. And like I said, the fingers are a little flexible, so it's easy to kind of slide the size in his hands there, just like that. And you can see he gets a really, really great grip on them. So now you can pose Raph around with his size to complete the look. And if you want to store them on the figure for when he's not in battle, he does have the 2 little loops on the front of his belt where you can slide the size right there and display them on his belt on the front of the figure. So very, very cool stuff. Alright guys, it's comparison time. Just for fun, I've got this movie version of Raphael in the quarter scale, standing alongside some of the other movie versions of Raphael we've received in the past from Playmates Toys. One is the original movie star figure from the original release of the movies, and then the other one is the more recent Turtles Classics movie figure, also released by Playmates Toys. But it's amazing to look at these side by side with this one from NECA and just see the massive difference in sculpt and design. So there you go, my friends. There is a look at Raphael from NECA's quarter scale movie line. He's the second figure in the line, with Donatello being the first. So we have 2 of the 4 turtles. We're halfway there to completing this amazing collection of action figures based on that original film, a film that so many of us Turtles fans still love and hold very near and dear to our hearts. And I think NECA is doing an incredible job with these figures. It's so awesome getting amazingly done figures that look the way they looked in those movies. So great job, NECA Toys. Keep them coming. I love them very much. The figures are going to retail for around the $100 price point. And honestly, I think that is an amazingly good price for what we're getting here. They're huge, they're solid, amazing sculpts, amazing paint deco. So it's a bit pricey, but still cheaper than you pay for, you know, a lot of 112 figures, or 1/6 figures, I'm sorry, that are out there on the market today. So pretty cool stuff. I think that's awesome. So very special thanks to NECA Toys for sending Raph along so we can get a good look at him outside of the packaging. Guys, these are hitting stores right now. You can find them at places like Toys R Us. You can find them at online stores like BigBadToyStore.com. So happy hunting, my friends. Hey guys, if you enjoyed this video, please hit that like button, leave me a comment down below, and don't forget to subscribe so you never miss out on a Turtles review. Until next time, my friends.